I am really excited about today's video. I thought that I wasn't going to have any content this week because I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and as you may have heard, Texas experienced a snowmageddon of epic proportions that left most of the state without electricity, and for our town we were without clean drinking water for several days. So there were a lot of survival tactics going on instead of sewing. But when I walked out to my mailbox on Monday, I had a package waiting for me, and I brought it inside, and it was from my friend Kelly. Now, a few weeks ago, Kelly had sent me this cup cozy for my son. He is a big Star Wars fan and a devotee of The Mandalorian. And when I called to thank her, I had said, you know, Kelly, if you could just put a little thumb hole, these would be great mitts. I am well known for always having cold hands. It doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees out. Cold hands, warm heart, dirty feet, no sweetheart. And so I was like, could it be? And even more exciting, given what we had just experienced, when I opened the envelope, it was wrapped in an old-fashioned manner, and she had enclosed this letter that I'll read you some excerpts of that she had done on very vintage-looking paper with a calligraphy pen. So I always say love lives in the details, and she's the master. Now, I have to tell you a little bit about Kelly. I met Kelly when we were both stationed at a military base in a very small town in Middle Georgia. And my son was a little over 9 months, and I had seen on a bulletin board that there was a mom and tot group. So I went there hoping to make some friends. And within a few minutes, in walks this tall, wonderful woman with an asymmetrical haircut and sporting blue fingernails and toenails, talking about how she loves Broadway musicals. Her favorite is Rent. And did we know where she might find some things to build her own composter for her organic garden? Now, that maybe doesn't sound too avant-garde to our modern day sensibilities, but this was 2002, and Kelly was too cool for school. So over the years, even though we have been sometimes thousands of miles apart from one another, we have always made time to get together, and there's our grace. So Kelly is stationed currently in San Antonio, and I had contacted her to make sure she was okay, and they were actually without power for several days. So in order to keep her sanity, she did some crochet work for me. So cute, I can't stand it. And she did make the ears of Baby Yoda a little bit smaller so that it wouldn't interfere in typing. How cute is this? And they are wonderfully warm. I'm just amazed. So simply by taking this free coffee cup cozy pattern. She made me these most amazing mitts, and they are very warm, very comfortable to wear. And I will link down below in the description box where you can find that pattern so you can make some of these yourself. Now, I don't knit, I don't crochet, I don't want to learn, no how, no way. So I am very blessed to have such a friend. But the most precious part of this gift to me was her letter, and I will treasure it to the end of my days, and she has given me permission to read it to you. My dearest Laura, I hope all is well among you and the family. The Snowfest of 21 has certainly been a trial for all of us and will be remembered for years. We are now realizing homesteading here in Texas is much more different than we imagined. I long for our days back in the big city. And who would have thought we would suffer a winter here like those of our younger days back up north? Sadly, I fear that most of the crops are gone. I protected them the best I could, and the snow should have helped insulate them more. But I doubt even my Michigan farmer father or his father would have been able to do more. We can only hope. If it is not drought and grasshoppers, it is apparently the cold that is out to get us. Speaking of cold, we have been without electricity for going on 15 hours now. I am trying to keep the heat up by boiling big pots of water. She has a gas stove. And while we are plenty prepared to stay warm ourselves, I fear that the house pipes might freeze up. I can do nothing but hope and keep a small stream of water running through them. I am quite frustrated with Mr. Edison's people. We actually received word from them earlier that the spark had been returned, but alas, it has not, at least to our side of town. It is quite frustrating to look out the front windows and see only darkness. I admit to being somewhat envious of those with electricity. I'm sure our dear Laura, on occasion, when Miss Nellie would show off her clothes, also had envy. I can live with my clothes just fine, but at the moment I do want that fancy spark back. I hope you and dear Eric are not also suffering a fate of ours at the moment. Young Ian is probably the best off of all of us. I must sign off, my sweet friend. My lamp oil grows low. Enclosed is a gift for you. I made them myself from special wool sheared from my best green and brown acrylic sheep. Stay safe and warm and hopefully bathed in electric light. She is a wonderful, wonderful storyteller, and I just thought that so many of you would truly get a kick out of this most precious gift. And she has thrown down the gauntlet, so now I'm going to have to really put on my thinking cap of what I can send her in return. Now, I also wanted to take a moment to share with you a really amazing gift that I got in the mail 2 weeks ago. And a viewer had seen the video Lessons with Laura, Little House in the Big Woods, and again I'll link to that down below. And I had talked about where I had recreated Aunt Dosha's Dance at Grandpa's dress, but despite my best efforts I could not find any Blackberry buttons, and I had looked for such buttons for quite a while. It definitely was a holy grail item of mine, and Blackberry buttons were very popular during the Victorian era. They were made from iridescent or black jet beads, and they were hand strung into a round ball shape. And you can still find them on eBay and Etsy, but usually it's only 2 or 3 buttons here or there, and they can be quite expensive. And so she had sent me a message saying, I think I have your Blackberry buttons. And so we corresponded back and forth on direct messenger on Instagram. And I don't normally accept gifts, but she felt that it was really important that I have these. They had been gifted to her mother by a woman who lived during the Victorian era, and her mother was a very big Little House fan, and also just really wanted to see these buttons on the dress. And when I received these buttons in the mail, I couldn't help but cry. This was the card of buttons of these amazing, amazing antique beaded buttons. I just could not get over. I was expecting like 8, 9 buttons, which in and of itself would be such an amazing gift. And to be given a card where I could truly recreate the Victorian bodice. They normally put their button closures very close together. And so to be able to do this as well as on the sleeves, Rebecca, this is truly an amazing gift. I've written to you to say this, but I just wanted to say this one more time. And as you know, I attend many events, and I often work with children, teaching them living history skills. And so to be able to share this treasure with so many, it's just a truly wonderful gift. So thank you. So next week, I think I will finally have finished my Bridgerton inspired gown. Because of the lack of electricity, I did get so much of the hand beading that is on the upper bodice and sleeves done in my time of living in the olden days. So I hope you will come back and see that. It's a project that I'm really excited about, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Stay warm.